Hello community, this is Josh Friar with Truly Arbor Care, ISA Certified Arborist here. Today we're looking at a newly planted Mexican sycamore, and I want to talk about some common planting mistakes we see all the time here in Fort Worth, Texas, especially when trees are planted into heavy clay soils. It's a common denominator here, common issue that we see in the North Texas region area. So the first thing we always check is going to be the root flare. The root flare should be visible at all times at grade. When it's buried, the oxygen exchange is restricted, and when that is restricted, the moisture stays trapped. And in clay soils, the problem is just magnified at that point. Over time, at least, this greatly increases the risk of trunk decay around the critical root zone, around the root flare, in other words. And then, of course, girdling roots, which is well documented by the ISA Best Management Practices and Texas A&M AgriLife Extension. Another issue is the telephone effect. So if we draw back here, the telephone effect here is when the truck goes straight into the ground with no visible flare. And it's a strong indicator that the tree is planted too deep. In clay soils, this often leads to poor root expansion, instability, and then of course long-term structural problems. Another major issue is excessive mulch. Mulch piled against the trunk, often called mulch volcano, holds even more moisture against the trunk area, which is a big no-no. In clay soils, this just creates the perfect environment for root rot stem girdling roots and decay development in general. And then of course, under ANSI A300 standards, mulch should never come in contact with trunk areas. Let's talk about some proper mulching. Okay, proper mulching looks like this. So number one, the mulch should be 2 to 3 inches deep. Okay, number two, pull back the mulch 3 to 6 inches from the trunk area. And lastly, that you want to create a flat or like donut shaped ring, not a mound. Okay, this is a prime example of what not to do here. Now, the watering, which is vitally important to newly planted trees, especially in clay soils, need deep, infrequent watering, okay? No daily irrigation. The goal is to allow the soil to partially dry and in between watering events, so the oxygen can return back to the root zone, okay? So frequent shallow watering keeps roots near the surface and increases stress. And you can always consult with an ISA certified arborist about a plant health care, but in this perspective, at least, what we would recommend and what would benefit, number one, is going to be a root collar inspection and correction, soil-based nutrition or micronutrient support if establishment stress presents itself, and then of course seasonal monitoring during the first growing year. So all recommendations should follow ANSI A300 standards, ISA best management practices, and of course TCIA guidelines, and then of course research provided by Texas A&M here. Getting planting, mulching, and watering right, especially in clay soils, is the difference between a tree that struggles and one that establishes successfully for decades. And that's the point, right? If this is something that you're encountering, please call an ISA certified arborist near you.